The first question is by Subhanshini. She has a question to Ajay. Ajay, she is asking, do you recruit engineers, postgraduates, or B school candidates for your openings? So Ajay, if you could answer that question.
So it depends again on which process. In a short answer, yes, we do. But for most of our VP operations, Arjun, we refrain from actually kind of hiring too many people from the engineering side. But for our other product development, other related activities, we actually kind of go for engineering and other graduates.
Yeah, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Ajay, for the answer. Subhashini, I hope the question has got the proper answer for you. Next question is for Priyanka from Gaurav Sopti. He's asking, please give some insight on how to manage the pros and cons in SME culture plus micromanagement culture. It's based on the presentation you had actually given.
Okay, SME culture, and you're talking about micromanagement, right? Okay, micromanagement, I feel it is there mostly for most of the startup companies, which I have faced. Wow. And when there are less people in the organization, it is okay to micromanage, because we all, look upon to one single leader who is having the vision and mission in which the company is supposed to run, and it is going. But once it comes to the SME culture, okay, I feel that the whole team or the whole company should be, divided into different departments, and each of these departments should have, a process of reporting, first line of manager, second line of manager, so that the whole thing is not micromanaged, but at the same time goes off flawlessly. So this is the difference. The amount of people in the organization makes the difference over here. Arjun.
Priyanka, thanks for the answer. Praveen, yeah, Priyanka. Thank you for the answer, Priyanka. We have Praveen Kumar from Delhi who wants to ask a question to Ajay. He has asked that during the webinar you have emphasized on training for freshers. He is telling that we have come across a lot of times that multiple freshers leave an organization after training. In fact, some of them join just to attend the training and then leave. Apart from bond, is there anything else we can do to retain them? So over to you, Ajay.
My straightforward answer, Arjun, would be nothing else to be done. So far, whichever organizations that I have worked with even does not believe in having a bond during the training time. Okay, so the only way of retaining them is actually kind of keeping them engaged, Arjun, and definitely during the selection process bring the right set of people who doesn't tend to actually run away in that kind of a manner. So can't think about any other method which is a legal way of actually kind of holding on to them other than keeping them engaged.
Thank you Ajay for the answer. Praveen, I hope the answer actually suffices the question you asked. Rahul Rastogi has a question for Manjunath. Rahul Rastogi is from Bhopal. The question is, does big organization foresee attrition just after training? Manjunath?
Yeah. Yes. When it comes to attrition, it is definitely available at all stages. There are voluntary and involuntary. We find very few people, at least in the first year of journey, which is voluntary, once a training is completed. Post maybe 1 year or 2 years, in between that 1 to 3 years, we do see a lot of voluntary attrition.
Thanks for the answer, Manjunath. There is again another question by Sujay Menon from Kochi. He's asking, is the concept of stipend and unpaid internship program a good option for both mid-size and big companies?
Yes. to say internship assignments are definitely helpful. It is beneficial for the student as well as for the organization in multiple ways. One, for the student perspective, it gives him the exposure, much needed exposure, while he's still in the college program, to get a first-hand view of how organizations work, operate, and at the same time identify what his strengths are and what he would like to do. When it comes to an organization, they have a very low amount of risk but there's a lot of time and investment to be required to be made by the organization in having a successful internship assignment for the students.
Thank you, Manjunath.
That's it.
Thank you, Manjunath, for the answer. Priyanka, there is a question for you from Hannah Benjamin. She is from Greenpeace organization. She has written, hi, this is Hannah from Greenpeace. We are a non-profit organization. We do not have the luxury to develop a plan for a longer period. We face attrition even from day one, and induction is for a period of 3 to 5 days. In such a scenario, how can we reduce attrition and also give them confidence of growth? Priyanka, if you can unmute the mic. Priyanka, are you there? I guess Priyanka, there is a network issue, I guess. Manjunath, can you answer the same question?
Arjun, can you repeat? Sorry.
Sure. I'll just repeat the question again. Hannah is writing in from Greenpeace. She is writing that we are a non-profit organization. She's telling that we don't have the luxury to develop a plan for a longer period. We face attrition even from day one, and induction is a period of 3 to 5 days. In such a scenario, how can we reduce attrition and also give them confidence of growth?
Well, attrition is a common factor everywhere, but what I would say is hiring the right resource is important. Identifying the correct resource, like in the slide deck which I mentioned, if you can figure out what exactly the individual is looking for, and if you have something that matches, I think that's where you should try to do that, rather than getting somebody on board and trying to, when the person is not interested. Definitely. That is something many times we are not very sure about what exactly the individual is looking for, and they try their hand at getting into something, especially when you're talking to freshers, since they are in a situation where they do not have much choice. They take up whatever assignment is in front of them and join that. It's for us as individuals in recruitment to identify who would be the right people to bring into the organization. I think that's the way. It's always better to hire the right person than hiring somebody just for the sake of hiring. That's what our experience has been. Because you invest a lot of time once they're on board, and at the end of the day, if the resource is not happy, there is going to be attrition in that. I hope this answers the question.
Yeah. Manjunath, thanks a lot for the answer, Manjunath. Ajay, there is a question from Ravitej Reddy. He's asking how to make freshers to be proactive and also how to make them aware of the current pay scale in reality. Freshers have their own expectations which are not possible in reality. So this is a question actually everyone has in their mind. So yeah, Ajay, over to you.
Arjun, the answer for that lies in your recruitment process. Okay, so basically, even before the hiring starts, you have to actually kind of like figure out, or rather let them know from a salary expectation standpoint of view what is being offered to them. Okay, so basically setting that expectation correct in the beginning itself, that will be the right way of actually approaching this question. Like in every organization, the salaries differ from other companies. So when you go for a drive to a campus, or maybe you are having a freshers hiring happening in your company, set that expectation well before even the first set of interviews starts, so that nobody gets disappointed at the end of the day.
Thanks for the answer, Ajay. We have again one more question for you. Seema Begum asked that most of HR recruit candidates based on the marks, that is good percentage, do not allow others who have scored less. Can I get some clarification?
Arjun, I really didn't get that question properly. Like I didn't get the meaning out of the question.
Okay. Seema, can you be actually, can you just type the question again for that matter? We'll just go forward to the next.
Arjun, shall I take that question?
Yeah, Joby, you can take the question.
Yeah. I think, Seema, the point there is companies do not hire based on the marks criteria, but to filter candidates from a bigger pool, they definitely put in a marks criteria which will be 70% or 65 or 75. But once they filter the candidates based on mark criteria, again, after that, they will look at the other competencies, which is the attitude and other skill set beyond the marks. But marks is being usually taken as a criteria to filter, but not to hire.
Thanks for the answer, Joby. There is again one more question, which is a startup related question. So this is Shalini from Client Curve. We are a startup. We cannot provide hikes and monetary benefits when compared to MNCs. Kindly help out as how to retain them in a startup organization.
Is that for me, Arjun?
Ajay, you can answer if you would like to.
Yeah, so straightforward answer, or rather, since there is no hike or anything, what can tentatively hold back most of the candidates is definitely a clear-cut career path where the person can be headed out to. Monetary rewards are secondary, so if you actually show that person a clear-cut path where the person can head into the organization where the growth is going to happen, I have a feeling that there is a higher chance of holding on to the candidate.
Thanks for the answer, Ajay. There is a question from Shameen Shagir Basha. The question is to Manjunath. The question is, I did my PhD in HR from IIT Madras and tried corporate jobs. As a fresher, I didn't get a job. Now I am into academics. Please let me know what is the scope of PhD in corporate world. Dr. Shameen. Manjunath, can you take up the question?
Yeah, I'm here. Okay, Dr. Shamin, it's nice to know that you have been done a PhD. There are certain specific roles in certain HR consulting organizations which look for your skill sets. So it's about finding the right organization for you to work for. If you're looking for an IT, information technology company, I think that's the wrong place to be in. Or if you're looking for a manufacturing company, that's also, again, not the best kind of employment job opportunity for you. So there are many HR consulting firms which you should be looking at joining since you have that, and that's something will definitely help value those organizations. Your academic credentials will be valued at. I hope I answered your question.
Thanks, Manjunath.
Yeah, Arjun.
Thanks, Manjunath. So it's a question for Ajay again. Ajay, Sandeep Gupta is writing in. His question is how to check attitude of a candidate. I would actually mix up two questions. That is, Samantha and Sandeep are asking pretty much the same question. Samantha is asking that how to deal with immature and college behavior in office, and Sandeep is asking how to check attitude of a candidate. So it pretty much is the same thing. So can you please explain it to them?
Sure. So Arjun, I wouldn't call it as the same thing because these are two things which are actually at two different stages of the life of a person in before corporate and after corporate. Okay. From an attitude perspective, when corporates go for hiring, there are questionnaires out there which helps in actually kind of asking the right questions from a behavioral standpoint of view to gauge that. Okay. That being one step, and second being the face-to-face interviews. When we put scenario-based questions and behavioral-based questions across to candidates, in most of the cases we actually tend to get that attitude factor from an employee to figure out whether we are getting the right person or not. Okay. Second question in coming on to the behavior of a person inside a corporate, right? So that's something which has to be covered in the training phase, because a majority of the people from campuses actually come with a carefree attitude in terms of life, because they have not seen the corporate. You can't blame them for that. Okay, so sensitizing them onto a corporate environment and making them right for the job is actually a part of the training exercise, which actually kind of gets them on. So that in most of the corporates, that's dealt with in the first stage of their training itself, where they're given the proper tools and other methods in which they are sensitized to what is being expected out of them in a corporate world.
Thanks for the answer, Ajay. The next question is for Manjunath. It's from Shalini. Hi, this is Shalini from Hyderabad. Do you think we should opt only for premier institutes for campus placements? Is the college reputation and candidate quality interrelated?
My experience suggests that we should be having a stronger hiring selection process within our organization rather than depending on a tier 1 or a tier 2 categorization. At least as of today, every institute has its own way, except for a few worldwide recognized universities. In India, most of them have very good infrastructure which have come up in the recent 5-10 years. And there are pretty good students who are basically joining those organizations. So if we have a very good hiring and selection process, which is definitely going to be an added advantage to everybody. It's not necessary that we should hire only from the top tier institutes.
Thank you for the answer, Manjunath. We are moving on to the next question. It's for Joby. Joby, it's a question from Roshi Das. She is asking, for a growing company, what should be the major parameters be to choose the right fresher?
So, yeah, Roshi, I think you meant for a startup or a just growing company? I think.
Yeah, it would be for a.
Yeah, right. I think the first and foremost thing that we need to look for is attitude and is motivation to learn. If that is there, as initially Ajay and Manjunath mentioned, technology and other aspects we can train them later, but the attitudes and his motivation keeps him learning his way and then doing a good job at the company where he does it. I think as a starting or a growing company, you should focus on hiring the guys with the right attitude and motivation.
Thanks a lot for the answer, Joby. The next question is for Ajay. Sanjay is asking, I'm electronics and communications engineering degree holder. I'm working as an IT manager when no innovation comes out. Do I need to continue with it or try for engineering related jobs?
Depends on, again, it's a difficult question to answer because it's more of a personal related thing that he needs to make a decision on, Arjun. Okay, so end of the day, he has to look at his parameters of life, and if there is something which he's not interested on, do not continue would be my way of looking at it. Okay, and looking for the right openings. But again, depending on the financial factors and other things, he need to make that decision.
Thanks, Ajay, for the answer. Sandeep Gupta has a question for Joby. The question is how to deal with fresher candidates if we find how to stop freshers comparing them with their peers and other domain peers.
Right. I think there is no clear-cut answer for that. But if you can just motivate them with the challenges that you can offer them, the opportunities that your company can give them, and the different career path that you can offer them, then probably they will stop comparing themselves with others. And I think it's the motivation that you can give from your organization that matters, which will help them focus on your work and not to compare with their peers or other domain experts.
Thanks for the answer, Joby. The next question is from Sandeep Gupta. He's asking, we are ready to train, but how to find the right candidates? This is for Manjunath.
Sourcing is what you're talking about, right? So
yeah.
if you're really talking about sourcing, you should know exactly what. Yeah. So if you are clear about what you are looking for, then you at least it's a much easier job to find the talent, at least currently in India. You have reputed institutes, you have recognized institutes, you have regionally strong institutes, specific skills which are there, specialized electives, programs being done in certain institutes. So if you know exactly what you're looking for, it makes your job a lot easier. That's what I would say. I don't have a much simpler answer than this one.
Thanks Manjunath for the answer.
Thanks. Ajay, would you have Arjun, can I ask Ajay if you have anything to add?
Ajay, is there anything to add from your side? Ajay is actually.
Yeah, Arjun, move on, please.
Yeah. So we have a question for Priyanka now. Priyanka Roshidas is asking how to retain a fresher without giving them a monetary hike. Will a simple recognition or a career progression be enough, particularly in a mid-sized company?
Yeah, over here, there are many startups and mid-sized companies who are not able to give hike or even not able to give a competitive salary. In such a case, I think a challenging role is one of it. Second is if a fresher, scenario after say 6-7 months, if you can, put say another 2-3 freshers under him, change the org structure a little bit where he can own up more responsibility. And of course, if he can recognize himself with the vision of the company that, okay, we are growing, we are we are developing, and we will, increase in strength, and maybe it is taking a little bit of time just now to give you a hike, but we are definitely recognizing your effort. As a result, we are changing your you say to from a junior to a managerial kind of a role or something like that. So there are many ways in which through the organization you can keep him motivated, giving him more challenges, and maybe put some 2-3 people reportedly under him or her. And I think that should motivate him enough to take up the role and carry on.
Thanks for the answer, Priyanka. We have a question for Joby now. Sandeep Gupta is asking, we take tech interviews and practical tests also, but things go wrong. So what is the solution for that?
Yeah, I think that's a nice question, or I think a lot of startups face the same problem. Again, there is no right solution for doing an assessment. Definitely it can take you to 90% success or 95%, but completely it cannot be right. I think you will be able to nail down the exact performance of the candidate during the personal interview or the face-to-face interview. That is where you can make it 100%, and it depends on how well you prepare and come for the interview, or how you plan to judge the candidate on which all aspects. I think the assessment engine and tools yeah, definitely you should depend on it only up to 85 to 90% and not completely.
Thanks for the answer, Joby. There is a last question from Deva Prakash Roy. We'll be taking this last question now. He's from Patna. He's asking contract employees who are freshers, are they more beneficial or lateral hiring through contract is better? This is a question from Manjuna.
Again, keep saying the same thing, but what I would look at is you are looking at contract employees to get your work done at a quick pace. If you had the opportunity, you would have basically hired somebody full time, and you need somebody who is ready to start working on the job rather than something. So I would definitely look at lateral hiring through contract in case we are not able to hire a full time. If it is a full time, depending on the role and the expertise required, we could go with a lateral or a fresher.
Thanks for the answer, Manjunath. I guess Huma Ahmed has one last question she has been asking for some time. This is to Priyanka. Priyanka, most of the organizations have a bond policy. So is it right, or should it be more appropriate to train freshers properly and to retain them according to your merit?
Okay. Frankly speaking, this differs from organizations to organization. If it is a big organization, and I have seen many times that there is recruitment which happens in bulk. That is, say, 100 people, 120 freshers for a particular project, or even more than that. Okay, in such a scenario, in order to manage attrition, after training, or to retain them, I feel that bond is a way of holding them back, because it is very difficult to kind of reach out to all 120 in different manners, because as we know, all the 120 people are different from each other, having their own viewpoints, etc. But if it is a smaller organization, I feel that individually we can take up these people and culturally induct them in the company in such a way, through training, through on the job training, etc., in which we will not see attrition, and for that we will not need any bond, or we will not need to take any certificates or anything for such scenario. But when it goes to bulk, then I would say that it is better to have a bond system, just to have a fear factor or something, so that they also know that, okay, fine, after the extensive training that has been given to me, I also have to stay in the company to give back something in the company. But in a small scale, I feel that, we can make a difference without bonds or any other such criteria.
Thanks for the answer, Priyanka. I hope, Huma, the question has been clear now. That's all, folks. I think we'll be stopping now. Thanks a lot for attending the webinar. We hope you had a great time. Please let us know your comments and suggestions or any feedbacks through my email ID, that is arjun@freshersworld.com, or you can also share your thoughts on Twitter using the hashtag FWHRConnect. Thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Arjun. Thank you.